Hey, I'd like to posit something interesting to you today that may not have been posited in the past. I've learned a lot about the microbiome in the past few months. If you don't know about it, look it up and it'll make sense. But I'm pretty sure 75% of people today know knowledge about the microbiome that was not known by the masses 4 or 5 years ago. In any case, I believe that atheists, especially the militant Richard Dawkins school of atheists, are essentially spiritual germophobes. I remember when I was a little kid, I was terrified about the idea of germs, and amoebas in particular. Now, I don't know that amoebas really represent all germs, but back then, I had seen an amoeba on like Magic School Bus or something, and I was like, man, fuck amoebas. I don't want an amoeba to touch me. When I put my feet on the ground, I don't want an amoeba near me, even though there's really no getting away from amoebas. The fear was intense. It was like OCD. I wouldn't put my feet on the ground in the car. If my dad would play around and be like, there are amoebas near you, I'd be like, no, don't tell me there are amoebas. I felt like I'd be better served just completely having never heard that amoebas existed. And I think typical germophobes are much similar to that. I had a friend, this girl, and she was really afraid of germs, to the point where she had like eczema on the back of her hands and like cracked back of her hands due to the fact that she would constantly wash her hands and use hand sanitizer. She knew that this was causing the symptoms, but she was too afraid of germs. And she actually worked at a hospital, a major hospital in the United States. And she was just so afraid of germs that, she'd rather hurt herself than come in contact with the germs she knew were already on her, but she just wanted some control over that creepy crawly thought. To go back to the spiritual aspect of it, atheists are spiritual germophobes. The idea of something, and I know you can counter this and say, well, there is no evidence, show me the evidence, blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of built-in ways that, like if you're going to disagree with this, you're already going to disagree with it. But, for those who get what I'm saying, atheists are spiritual germophobes. They can't deal with the thought of these spiritual amoebas crawling around, these spiritual bacteria and viruses, and, they're so creepy, they, just like the virus looks like a little creepy syringe or scissors thing, and the bacteria looks like a fucking monster and a weird water bear thing. The amoeba just is gonna suck everything in, it's so creepy. These spirits, the portrayal that we've seen of them are creepy too. Spirits are allegedly creepy as well. They can see you when you can't see them, which instills a sense of vulnerability. They are, they're invisible, and kind of like microbes. They're invisible, but kind of like microbes, you need a diversity of exposure to that world and to spirits to really get out with it. While atheists, or to really cultivate an ecosystem that's dynamic and to cultivate health. With the atheist being the extreme germaphobe that takes a bath in rubbing alcohol, the Mormon, let's say, would be analogous to like just the ordinary germaphobe, the person who Lysols their things, who gets their kids all the vaccines, who, gets antibiotics for every viral infection and doesn't care because, that once was the school of thought, so they just still don't care. That would be like the Mormon maybe. It's basically like, we really, one type of context of, you know, invisible forces is maybe okay, you know, but the diversity of the different strains is really fucking low. You know, so what I guess I'm saying is expose yourself to different spiritual ideas, because if you cling to this one thing and just be like, it's sort of like a really restrictive mindset to just be like, you know, I think of that fat lady from Wife Swap reality show going, they're not Christians, and freaking out because, you know, because she only had like one positive context for these invisible things. Every other context creeped her out, you know? I mean, but it wasn't really like she was just thinking that through for herself. It was more like ancient people in the past, you know, were freaked out by it, and they codified a, you know, they didn't want anybody around them having germs. So kind of like the rage that people have against anti-vaxxers, they had rage against anti-Christians or non-Christians, and they, or non-Muslims, or whatever context it is, and they, you know, they essentially were like, you're banned, you can't come near me, you're unclean. She was freaking out because she thought the house was unclean because someone who was like a pagan type person or witch or whatever the fuck stayed in there. And now she's thinking like, it's sort of like if, you know, you bring your dog to like a germaphobe's house and they're like, don't, oh my God, the dog touched me, I'm gonna be sick, I'm gonna be sick. Like, you know, like a person who just Lysol wipes everything. Like, fuck out of here. No, but seriously, atheists are spiritual germaphobes. I think you need different spiritual experiences. And, I mean, Christians, Muslims, Jewish people, by and large, spiritual germaphobes as well. I think that you really need an exposure to a wide variety of things. And I'm not an SJW going, diversity, diversity. But, I mean, the fact is, with your gut health, you know, a diverse array of microbes helps you. With your spiritual health, you know, a diverse array of maybe things that we equally can't see with the naked eye may help you. So just bear that in mind next time that you are, you know, seeing some type of video on YouTube about some, you know, eye-opening thing, and you go, well, no, that doesn't have to do with Jesus, so I'm just gonna block it out like a little bitch. You know, you're gonna, I can already see all the stupid criticisms of this video, so I like counteract them in my head. But I mean, if you love this video, just show love, and if you hate it, I know what you're gonna do anyway, so it's all good. All right, thank you very much. This has been Spencer McNett with Occult Warehouse.